As It Were Productions presents.
Hello and welcome to A Couple of Old Fashions, the movie conversation show where we pick two movies to go over there and watch them, and hopefully we picked the right movies for the right theme. My name is Joe Lynch.
I'm Becca Howard.
And welcome to Season 2 of A Couple of Old Fashions.
Yeah, this is the second introduction we had to do because I assumed that anyone watching this was already familiar with our concept. So I was just like, welcome back. So anyway, I turned brunette since the last time we spoke.
And my hair got
carried
long.
on the conversation.
If you've recognized, we are now on YouTube. The Season 1 of the show started off on Patreon, which was part of the Movie Crypt. Go to the Movie Crypt and listen to Adam and Joe talk about a lot of movies and stuff. But we're not talking about them. We're talking about movies. And now our wonderful home right here on YouTube. So you'll probably hear us say a few times, like and subscribe. Gotta get used to that.
Yeah. I mean, except for all the people who are just listening to this audio only on multiple podcast platforms.
Well, what you should do is you're missing out on a huge component of the show.
No, you're not.
Yeah, you
That's
are.
fine.
You look
No
great.
one cares.
You look great.
I didn't say I didn't.
Then tell people. We have to be like,
yeah, if you
watch
want,
us on YouTube.
If you
'cause
like
that's
to
where
see our faces, go to YouTube. But otherwise, it's fine to listen to it on. Stop judging people for their media consumption. However you want to consume this. Thank you for being here and joining us this lovely Friday.
Yes.
I've already imbibed, but
Cheers.
So that we may imbibe some more.
As you may know or may not know, the show comprises of the two of us. We're movie geeks. We're movie lovers. One of the things that we love to do is, well, watch movies, talk about movies, and recommend.
Drink. And recommend.
And drink as well. So we thought we would start a show where we got to recommend movies to you, imbibe a little bit, talk about movies, watch the movies, come back here, and hopefully we pick two movies that fit the theme of each week. And hopefully, if all goes well, we will be presenting this lovely, very long conversation with you, both on
very
podcast.
Long.
Well,
it's a svelte hour.
Yes. But we will be presenting that each Friday, hopefully. You know, it really does feel like no time at all has passed, because this is one of the things earlier in the year when we did it. It brought me so much joy to do it, as much as it was so difficult with our schedules. Every time we sat down, turned the various cameras on, it became like such a wonderful conversation with you guys, and again, to see the discourse going back and forth.
I mean, you know,
some of the different themes.
I think people who love movies like you do, like we do, it's just so we were all that weird kid in the class, kind of lonely in our obsessive pursuit of movie culture. So it's just wonderful to kind of create any familial community spirit around that. Like, you know, we're no longer the weird kids in the back of the class. Well, we are. We're united in our weirdness.
We're playing
and with
that paper football, which was always so strange.
that being said, so the theme that I chose was...
Wait. I'm so excited to do this again. Do you remember? I go like this.
It's been a minute. Yeah, no. Oh.
Wait. Here we go. Ready? I'll do it again. Dun, dun, dun. Boom.
Making a comeback.
How fitting. It's a perfect,
That's exactly. Well, because we
theme.
are making a comeback.
Yes.
We are coming back to you and yours. And I thought comeback movies are such a wonderfully beloved genre. But there's also a million different ways you can interpret that. Are we thinking about a director who's making a comeback in their career?
Yeah.
Are we doing a actual film that's staging a comeback as part of its narrative? So, you know, lots of ways to do it. How did you interpret it?
This was really tough because I was the same way, where you could, whenever someone says comeback, immediately I go to sports movies. Because, you know, the underdog, it's got such a wonderful 3-act structure in terms of how you want to stage that comeback. But then comebacks to me could also be the people behind the camera or playing in the film. You know, actors, directors, you know, maybe they hit the stardom really fast and then they have a little bit of a dip, but then everybody loves a comeback in Hollywood.
Ding, 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 time up.
No, wait. And then thirdly, there's maybe my favorite of all the comebacks, the Revenge-O-Matic.
Oh,
yes.
fun.
So that's kind of where I went with my choice. What about you?
What did you pick?
Oh, do I go now?
Yeah, just say what movie.
Okay. Well, I went with a Revenge-O-Matic, and I went with maybe one of my favorite movies of 2017.
Ding, ding, ding.
Stop it. I'm allowed to talk to my friends here.
Oh my gosh. Talk, not lecture.
One of my favorite movies of 2017, which was Corley Farge. Did I say it right?
Oh, Revenge?
Revenge.
Fun.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Partially because of all of the... I heard that we're not allowed to say the R word in this, so the R word revenge movies. Of all of those, that may be... And now we're censored on YouTube.
Oh.
That's why, dummy. You're not supposed to say... you're going to have to beep that out now. Yeah. Well, of all of the Revenge-O-Matics that are out there, this was one that I felt was like... probably the best for a double feature. It's one of the more entertaining ones. It's definitely striking and visual and awesome. And Corley is an amazing director, as we all know from The Substance.
Yeah,
so I felt like
crazy.
that was my perfect choice. That's the first one that came to mind. What about
All right,
you?
I'll take less time because, the man got the 3-minute Oscar speech, so I have to do it in a minute and a half.
We should have that
actually,
with the theme
yeah.
runs us off.
Well, I actually didn't want to do a sports one. When I first thought of comeback, I thought about people making comebacks in their careers like actors. I mean, the movie I really wanted to do was actually Sunset Boulevard.
That would have been good.
It would have been great, but Robert Redford died. I don't know if you know this. He died.
He died in the news, yeah.
And he did a really famous sports comeback movie called The Natural.
Oh, hell yeah.
The Barry Levinson movie.
Yes.
So I don't know. I guess this was a last minute change.
Wow, this is one.
Yeah, I didn't actually think of sports at all. I kind of wish I'd stuck with Sunset Boulevard because I have way more to say about that movie. But I don't know. I just got mortally motivated.
But this is great though because I've been trying to figure out what Robert Redford movie we would watch, and there's the usuals. There's the Day of the Condor, or I think directing wise, River Runs Through It. I haven't seen The Natural.
I know, I haven't seen it in forever. So we'll see how they work together. Obviously, The Natural feels like the A picture, right? Levinson.
It's
big
such a
tentpole
feel-good
studio
movie,
film.
but
And then Revenge is the skeezy little thing.
You're going to have to beat that one out too, man.
That comes after the studio, squeaky clean fare.
I like that idea.
All right.
So we're going to go with Barry Levinson's
The Natural and Revenge.
Yes.
Okay.
If you want to play along with us, you can, turn this off right now. Maybe, go out and get The Natural and Revenge. Currently, it's on, The Natural is on 4K, Blu-ray, and DVD. Did you know there's a director's cut as well?
Yes, I did know that.
I did not know that. So we're going to be watching the theatrical cut. So it's available on those formats. Or if you want to go on streaming, it's available on Apple and Amazon to rent. The Revenge, on the other hand, is actually available on Shudder and Mubi. So if you want to stream, you can also get it on Blu-ray as well.
A little bit of skis and a little bit of class. Kind of like Forjat's whole career. It's really hard to say her name in English. It's Forjat. Whatever.
Farge.
Coralie. Let's go.
It sounds much nicer when you say it. All right, shall we?
Cheers.
To the couch.
And now it's A Couple of Old Fashions with Becca and Joe. This week's episode, Making a Comeback.
And we're back. All right. I don't know why that... Usually what we do is we always had like a little preamble before, but we kind of realized that maybe this is not the best for podcasts. You can put the bat down now.
Hi, this is my costume. Once again,
Yes.
We have returned to the tradition of me dressing up and Joe not doing anything because he's a lazy. But yes, an incentive for all you podcast listeners out there. Not that I'm judging your creative
This is
media consumption.
poorly.
I too am more of a podcast listener than a YouTube watcher. But an incentive if you're listening to us right now in your car, you are missing all of this incredible situation of me every week. I do my best, as you can see. Thank God for Amazon Prime. Even on an impulse decision The Natural, I still got a Roy Hobbs New York Knights baseball cap, Toronto Blue Jays shirt, but
Fine.
Robert Redford, In The Natural, the story of a father and a son,
You got a gift, Roy, but it's not enough.
of love,
He means the world to me.
a champion,
Roy Hobbs comes along once, maybe twice in everybody's lifetime.
and his destiny. The Natural.
So there we go. We watched Barry Levinson's follow-up to Diner, and what a hell of a follow-up to go from something that was like so wonderful and ensemble and intimate.
What's
to,
that?
I don't know.
Sorry, again, to the podcast
Yes.
listeners, Joe just made like a groping thing
It was a
with
weird
his
groping
hands.
thing.
If
Well,
you want to see
that's
Joe's
intimacy.
groping things, go on
Intimacy.
our YouTube page
Intimacy.
right now. Well, it's interesting because it is also kind of a comeback for Redford in a way. He hadn't made a movie since 1981's Ordinary People, in which he was directing. I don't think acting in, right?
No,
It's been
no,
a
he's
minute
not
since I
acting in it.
watched Ordinary People as well, but that was a huge success. And I think he might have been intimidated to actually get back in the ring in any kind of capacity, even just as an actor, because he'd sort of, he'd reached a peak
Yeah, in the
in
70s.
his career.
Yeah, in the 70s, he was synonymous
Everywhere.
with movie star.
So in a way, kind of a comeback for him to just go back to his leading role type. He plays a over-the-hill baseball player,
Yep.
Roy Hobbs,
Yep.
who, as a youth, when he's literally on his train journey to start his career, he runs into Barbara Hershey, which you totally forgot she was even. That's the main
Okay.
thing I remember about The Natural.
Look, the last time that I saw The Natural was on HBO maybe 30 years ago. So I
Yeah, but that's,
remember
like,
all of
so
the
iconic.
icons. I know, but I do not remember. So when he meets Barbara Hershey on the train, they start this like little bit of a relationship, and then spoiler. Hold on, spoiler
It's
alert.
not. The spoiler alert. I disagree because it happened. It's the setup.
Really?
The setup for the entire film.
Okay, no spoiler alert. There, I took it away.
He is on his way to make good on his God-given talent, his natural talent, to become this his claim to become the baseball star that everyone back home thinks he'll become, and then life has other plans for him, and he runs into this mad woman played by Barbara Hershey who shoots him, and that's the start of the film.
Well,
we
wait,
cut to black. It
before-
reopens, and it's 16 years later.
Before we do that, though, one of the things that they do so elegantly and so well in the beginning of the film, in the first act, is setting up how great he is. He has a confrontation with Joe Don Baker playing the Whammer, who's basically a very vague facsimile of Babe Ruth, and pits them together in a kind of impromptu carnival baseball off or pitch off or whatever. He gets noticed by Robert Duvall, who plays Max Mercy, who's a journalist who's following the Whammer at the time, but then notices this young upstart, and then that's after he gets shot. So he's set up as the next big thing. And then 16 years goes by.
Exactly. So if you came into this movie not knowing anything about it, you might be forgiven for thinking it was going to be the rise of a baseball star kind of movie. And then it's not that movie at all. It's actually about like this over-the-hill man now not only dealing with the horrible gunshot injury and the ramifications of that, but also just his advancing age, deciding at this late juncture in his life to re-enter baseball.
He gets recruited to this new team, and he meets up with everyone's favorite grandpa, which really scares me because he's around my age now, and that's Wilford Brimley.
Well, people aged differently.
He must have had a hard life, because what's crazy is that when you see Cocoon and you realize like, oh, you got Hume Cronin and, you know, all these amazing older Don Amici, all these actors, and Wilford Brimley's 50, where everyone else is 70.
Yeah,
they had
he
to
looks,
age him up.
yeah,
It's
old.
amazing. But Wilford Brimley plays the coach
Yes.
for the team. And this is what I love about this. You know, you were talking about how Redford was having a comeback and Roy Hobbs is having a comeback. The team is also poised for a comeback. They're down on their luck.
They're at the bottom of the league.
Yes.
Do you say that in baseball?
Yeah.
The league?
Yep.
All right. And so it's like everything is kind of a perfect storm.
Everybody's an underdog.
Exactly.
At this point. Everybody's down on their luck. And what's amazing though is when you go for those 16 years, when you take that 16 years out, Redford still like he looks like he hasn't aged a day.
Oh no, I thought the opposite.
Really?
I thought, and then when I looked up Redford's age, he's meant to be 19 at the beginning, 35 when he's old.
Yeah.
And he was 47, and I think he looks
Wow.
47, to be honest. No offense.
He was
but,
one
like,
of those actors though that just wore.
He's
age
still
well.
wonderful
Yeah.
and sexy. I mean, it's Robert Redford. Come on. The whole film basically follows his journey with the knight, re-achieving the dreams that he let go of when he was a young man. And I guess what I found interesting about the theme in general is why. I mean, there's even an expression like everybody loves a comeback. Everybody loves a comeback movie. I think one of the reasons is that people don't like to actually admit, even though it can feel almost falsely comforting, that there's a bigger power at play in our lives. That there's almost like this fate, this higher path that we're on that we can't really do anything about. I think sometimes people want to believe that, but then when you look at a comeback movie, it's kind of saying the opposite, because what Roy Hobbs goes through, like what anybody would do if something like that happened to them, was, oh, life had other plans for me.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to understand why and empathize with why he just sort of turns his back on the game and drifts. But then when he does, like at a middle-aged sports person, he says, no, this is what I wanted this whole time. And I don't know if he even like knew what he wanted, because it's like his dad who coaches him to become a baseball star. Like he said, my dad always wanted me to be a baseball player. And then when he rejoins the team, it's really him deciding, like he is making that active agent choice in his life to rejoin baseball and actually make a go of it on his own terms.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the reason why we love comeback movies. It's because we're saying like, oh yeah, life, you had other plans for me. Well, you don't know like the strength of my resolve. And that's kind of what The Natural ends up becoming about, is this Roy Hobbs is testing the strength of his own resolve.
Comeback movies, we know by now there's a formula. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's credits, and that there is something that is going to climax. Whereas life, we don't, like Roy Hobbs doesn't have any idea what's going to happen at the end for that fateful game. You know, no one does in comeback movies.
But I don't think that even matters whether or not he succeeds or fails at the game. It's whether or not he is doing it on his own terms. Like there's a point in the film where Glenn Close, who's like his big love from his childhood and symbolic of kind of the true happiness in his life, like he's denied himself her as well as baseball, because he's felt like not an active participant in his own life. Like he is the victim of fate. And it's not until like she at one point stands up, like she actively stands up, and when she does that and he notices her, he's finally able to get out of a slump that he's been having and hit another homer. Another term I found out.
Sports ball.
Now I'm going to use it in conversation, and people be like, wow, did you just learn that word? I'll say yes.
I mean, every time I say let's go to third base, you had no clue what the fuck I was talking about?
No, I knew that.
Oh,
What,
okay.
boobies, right?
Yes, exactly. No, it's not. Second base is boobies.
Oh.
Third base, we'll discuss after.
Well, you'll get there.
Yeah, someday. And you know, you were talking about Glenn Close.
Oh, sorry. She stands up, and when he asks her why she did that, she says, I didn't want to see you fail. And I don't think she means that in terms of whether or not he gets struck out. I think she meant that in terms of whether or not he is doing his best. Yeah. And I think that's more why comeback movies speak to us in such a viscerally emotional way, is that it's like saying, it's standing up, it's taking an active role in your life and not playing. It's so tempting to be in a bar cynically saying, oh, if only I could have been a contender.
It's easy to fail.
And Roy Hobbs has a real good excuse. It is really unfair what happens to him. Like this random woman on his way to complete in his dreams, shoots him. Who could have seen that coming? He even says like,
I saw the movie and I completely forgot, so I definitely didn't see it coming.
and he even says like, I should have seen it coming. I should have seen it coming.
He could have never guessed
I know
that
how
was going to happen.
So like, it's basically the journey that we're really on with him is him finally saying to himself, this is actually what I wanted, and I'm going to make a go for it in spite of all of these other circumstances. And I think that's what we find inspirational, because I don't think at the end of the, even though people like to say, you know, oh, well, that's just life had other plans. I don't think we actually enjoy that. I think we prefer thinking of life is in our own hands. There's like a bit in the movie where Red, who's the guy who owns the team, finally puts him in the game. Roy Hobbs says, you know, I've worked 16 years to get here. If you put me in the game, I'm going to do my best. And Red says, I believe you.
Yeah.
And it's a really sweet moment, but it doesn't even matter that Red believes him. What matters is that Roy Hobbs believes in himself.
Yeah.
That's why baseball is the perfect game for that kind of an analogy. And I think it's sports movies in general. I'm not a big sports person.
Well, because sports movies, you have to have a winner and a loser.
And setbacks. You're
Yes.
constantly dealing with setbacks and having to rise above it. And it's not until Roy Hobbs is finally rising above it and meeting his potential in his own way that he's finally able to look himself in the eye again and finally able to believe in himself again.
Caleb Deschanel, who's done everything from Passion of the Christ to The Right Stuff and Hope Floats. Like, he's an American. He knows how to shoot America, and he knows how to shoot baseball. And it's funny watching this again. I hadn't seen it in years. It kind of taught me that slow-mo was important, because if you, like, every time that he would go to bat, you knew the second that it would, like, even the pitcher would go in slow-mo, and then he would, like, the first two strikes, nope, no slow-mo. Third one, and he starts winding up. And to see Redford pitching the way he'd pitched and swinging the way he did, you believed every moment. Randy Newman's score, iconic.
One of his best.
Toy Story and all the Pixar
Well,
stuff.
the thing
I think this
is,
is his best score.
Those sound like Randy Newman scores. You
Like
know what I mean?
songs, yeah.
Yeah, Randy Newman songs,
Yep.
where this feels like a epic score.
I didn't even realize it was Randy Newman.
Yeah.
I guess I looked away or something like that and was like, who the hell did this score? And then
Amazing.
realized, like, holy crap. Like, and it's, anytime that you hear it, it's like, A, you think of this movie, and B, your heart swells.
Yes.
And that, like, I think what Levinson was setting out to do was to truly allow the audience to feel great when they leave the theater.
And so many people gave
uplifting.
him shtick for it, because the book actually ends on a
The
downer.
book is a dark book.
Yeah.
It's funny how those two characters, then Darren McGavin, who doesn't take a credit in the movie, kind of plays this weird, nefarious dude with one creepy eye. It's like they're almost from another movie in a way. They don't.
Well,
they
no,
really
I disagree. I think like it's because it's so almost like Greek mythology. Like the nuance of it is all internalized by Redford and his own kind of conflict to stop making. He said at one point, there's some mistakes I guess we never stop paying for.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he just keeps making the same mistake over and over again because he doesn't have enough like self-awareness to stop making them. Like, he falls for Kim Basinger, who's basically a repeat of the Barbara Hershey character.
Doesn't know how to.
And
made the same mistake twice in a way.
she's in her fabulous film noir evil lady self. I love her in this. But yeah, like as soon as he recognizes that he's constantly on this merry-go-round of mistakes and he keeps repeating that cycle, once he's able to have that moment of recognizing that within himself, he's able to get off that merry-go-round and succeed.
Well, there are moments in the movie that you're like, I'm so glad you brought up the Greek mythology thing, because there are moments like when he meets her, as opposed to when Glenn Close comes back into his life, and the you can feel the movie shift.
Yes.
In a way.
Well, that's why I feel like they have these bad guys that are pretty much straight up just evil villain
They're very
archetypes.
arch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It works because the film is using this very lofty theme. He wanted you to leave the theater feeling motivated and galvanized to do your best and to just try and like, it's just really nice.
I'm getting chills just thinking about the moment when he says to the kid, the Bat Boy,
I know.
who is...
Pick me a winner.
Oh,
so
God, yeah,
nice.
yeah, pick me a winner, Bobby.
And he picks his bat.
Yes.
They even put it to him as like a bet at the end where they say, okay, you can either bet on your, not to bet on yourself and throw the game and we'll give you this money for certain. That's like a sure thing. We'll pay you off.
Yep.
Or you can bet on yourself, not knowing whether or not you're going to win. And you won't get any certainty from it. And he decides to bet on himself anyway, knowing that at least for certain, he is going to do his best and he's going to play his best game.
Yeah.
And that's more important. I mean, he does win because that's just, you want him to win at that point.
Shit, we didn't do the spoiler alert again. If you walk into this movie or sit down and watch this movie and you think it's going to not happen, you're watching the wrong movie.
Yeah, sorry. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because at that point he has learned, and Glenn Close even says like we have two lives: the life that we learn with, and the life that we live with after that. So it's like you learn your lesson if you're ever so lucky as to finally recognize your failings.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you're able to win. And when he does that, he actually finds his true success and happiness on a field very far away from a baseball arena with the woman that he loves.
What do you think that was tacked on? It just happens?
No, I think they're saying...
I'm glad it's there.
Because they make him win.
Yeah.
I think you could be forgiven for thinking that, winning, that's what it's all about. And I think they have that to be like, no... Just finding happiness, doing your best and choosing to try, whether you win or not, that's what it's all about. And that's where you find happiness and satisfaction. Whether or not you succeed is like almost besides the point.
You're right, because when we were watching it too, the big rousing moment of the big swing, it hits the lights, all of the sparks are flying down, he's running in slow-mo. It's amazing. It's an iconic moment. But we both went, aw, when he catches the ball from his son.
Because he's happy,
I'm going to tear up now just thinking about it.
And it's not just him that's happy, we're happy.
Yeah.
And it's only natural.
So not only is it a comeback for Roy Hobbs. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I made a cute joke. It's only natural.
Was that a cute joke?
Yeah, because it's called The Natural. And it's only natural to want to be happy at an ending like that. Whatever. Next up, we have Revenge. Anyway, end of podcast. Let's go home.
Actually, before we go to Revenge, we'll be right back with these messages.
And now, an important message from a couple of old fashions with Becca and Joe.
You there! Put down that streaming device.
Wait, who said that?
Never mind me, friend. Look at yourself. Aren't you tired of endless streaming, scrolling, and mindless menu maneuvering?
Yeah, you're right.
Don't you want something special, unique, physical, tangible, and permanent?
Sure.
Almost like a friend.
Okay.
Or perhaps a family member.
I guess.
Or maybe even a lover. Well, my fine film-loving friend, that is exactly what you get when you purchase the brand spankin' new The Last Drive-In limited edition, one-of-a-kind, double feature release of Shudder's original movies, Mayhem and Suitable Flesh.
Whoa. For me?
That's right, for you and the world. You too can watch these succulent slices of cinema in gorgeous high definition, and now with our good friends Joe Bob Briggs, Darcy the Mail Girl, and the whole Last Drive-In gang, chiming in during each film with plenty of tasty trivia, captivating commentary, and lots of liquored up laughs.
Well, I'm in.
Almost.
Whoa. Hey, thanks. Well, looks like I'm watching Mayhem and Suitable Flesh on The Last Drive-In with this sweet digital video disc. It's the perfect date night double feature.
Sure is, partner. This product makes even those films look good.
You betcha. Hey, wait a second.
Get your own copy on Blu-ray and DVD October 14th.
The drive-in and the date night double feature will never die.
And now, on with the show.
And we're back. All right. So you were really holding on to that. Oh my God. I'm sorry that I stepped over. We're just getting back into the swing of things.
It was a very cute final line. It's only natural because it's called. This is where I get my revenge.
Oh, brother. Well, we get to have a little fun after the earnestness, the Americana of Barry Levinson's The Natural.
Then we go to the cynical French, yes?
Now we take on what I like to say is Michael Bay's French extremism, and that is Corley Farge's, Revenge, which came out in 2017, which was one of the two big hits for Shudder. This is one of the acquisitions that they had, along with a little movie called...
Women always have to put up a fight.
As you have maybe gleaned on, if you've seen The Substance, or even hopefully you've seen Revenge, she is not shy with the red stuff. And a lot of her...
The red stuff. He means blood.
Yeah, and a lot of it. And there's some good trivia with that. But I love that she is tapping into so many different wonderful genre histrionics. The revenge movie, the action film.
Should we call it R&R if we're not allowed to say rape?
Yeah, that works.
That's so funny.
The old R&R.
Someone just needs a little R&R.
Oh God, no one needs. Well, maybe a little less of one R and maybe a little more of another R. But
which I would say this film has a good balance towards the better R. Rebecca.
100%. Oh, that's good.
No, Revenge, as we all know.
The movie stars Matilda Lutz, who I actually worked with a couple years ago. She's lovely.
Unbelievably
playing Jen.
good.
And the synopsis of the film is a woman is off on a weekend tryst with a boyfriend who's married. They go off into this beautiful remote mansion, like disgustingly Art Deco mansion
in
villa
Morocco.
In Morocco. Then his alpha male bros show up. Everyone's having a good time, maybe too good a time.
What?
One of them gets...
Are you saying that she was asking for it?
No, not at all. But I am saying that one of the guys takes that a little bit too far, assaults her, and then they all realize that she's going to tell somebody, and they try to kill her. And they attempt to kill her. And yet she rises from the fiery ashes of a tree that she fell down.
It's very biblical.
It's very much a Christ meets Phoenix.
And I want to follow her. Like, I would fully, if she was Jesus, I would go to church more often.
Well, Corley has said that it is a mix of the Phoenix story with how she breaks herself out of it by using fire, and also the way she's positioned.
Also, incredibly, I hate myself for this because all I remembered was this powerhouse woman who is like, you know, I hate how completely she takes you by surprise by how resourceful she is. But it's because you have so many, even if you don't want to admit it to yourself, especially as a woman, so many judgmental preconceptions about female and female characters. And when we first meet her and she's just kind of like having fun, dancing around.
But it's
in
the way
her,
that she's shot too.
Yeah, and she's just kind of like, like has this kind of valley accent.
The lollipop.
Yeah, and she's just
the
like,
star earrings.
I want to be an actress. And like, I hated myself for being like, oh, this girl.
But don't you think that that's the point?
Yes,
though?
completely.
Like,
but I hate that I fell for the trap of the point of her being like, see, even you are hypocrite. Because I am a hypocrite. Because like, you know, I was like, God, she's stupid. Like, and they all the men, they underestimate her completely.
That's what I love about this movie from the jump, is that if you watch this film for the first 5 minutes and you didn't know that it was, and it doesn't matter if it's a male or female director, but it literally takes all of the Michael Bay male gaze archetypes The sun-kissed, blue sky, the slow-mo with the helicopter, the loving butt shots of her walking down.
She has a phenomenal butt.
Does have a nice butt.
Wow.
But
good job, Matilda Lutz.
Everything that Coralie does in the language of the movie in the beginning, she's seducing us the way that Michael Bay and all of the propaganda films, commercial directors, and music video directors in the 90s did, where they're using sexuality as a tool and a weapon. And by using it, she's enacting the male gaze through her female gaze as a comment on how we objectify women.
And how we're happy to turn away when presented with something as difficult and complicated and messed up constantly. Oh my gosh. I was saying that because when the bad R happens to Matilda Lutz, the bro who doesn't join in is, oh God, we see these
Dimitri.
close-ups of him eating this candy bar and it's all like crunch, crunch. And then he just kind of walks away and we follow him outside when he ignores his friend bad R-ing her against the window, against the screen, if you will, a third wall, like a cinema, like
shot.
the window, and then we just watch him just straight up ignoring and even diving under the water so that he doesn't have to hear, and turns up the TV so he doesn't have to hear. So very emblematic of our own choices to not do it, but not be party to it, but we're okay because don't ask, don't tell, don't see, don't hear, it's not real. And the only plot thing that I always was confused by was why they kill her when all they did was bad R her, because women get that all the time and they're never believed. So, which is horrible of me to say, but I was like, oh, why do they think that they're screwed now that because she's going to tell everyone that they abused her?
Well, the one guy is who she hooks up with, Richard. He's married, doesn't want that paradigm to get
So he's worried about his marriage.
He's worried about his marriage. The other two are worried about going to jail.
Yeah, but I don't think they would get arrested because it's his word against hers.
Yeah.
And we all know who's going to win in that situation.
You have the first, third of the movie, which is this cinematic seduction in a way. Then obviously a horrible bad R happens. And then she is thrown off of a cliff and left for dead.
And then, not just thrown off a cliff.
Yeah.
She's impaled
on a broken old
it's so gory.
Tree. It's brutal.
You know what's hilarious? It's like the natural, not hilarious, but darkly comedic. It's like a tree that's been split in half,
and the one that
that Robert Redford makes his baseball bat the Wonder Boy out of. Wow, hey, we found a through line.
We're finding themes here.
We did that on purpose.
There's a lot. No, that's exactly what we were going for. But from there, Jen gets herself out of what looks to be the most horrifying impaling that I've seen in a while. She's bleeding everywhere.
Thematically, it does actually kind of. I know we were joking, but actually that allegory thematically does make sense because, so lightning strikes the tree in both instances. We have this broken tree where lightning struck it and it's been split in half. And that's what some might call fate or this random occurrence taking over. But in both the natural and in revenge, they both end up being symbolic of Roy Hobbs and Matilda Lutz's character. What's her name? Jen. Actually taking agency over fate.
I've actually read a review recently that said that none of that happened and that she died and that was her life flashing before her eyes because the male reviewer could not believe for a second that she couldn't do what she does in the last 2/3 of the movie. Now, if you haven't seen it,
name and shame him.
Nope, I'm not saying it.
What a horrible man. What's the point?
I think that's what Coralie wanted some douchebag misogynist to think.
That really grinds my goat.
Because what happens after is, if it was Rambo 3, no one would bat an eyelash. But because
but
it's
he's
a woman,
man.
it's considered like, whoa, this is mind blowing that she can go through this. There is
So
more blood
angry.
spilled. Actually,
Also, what is even the point of saying that it's all in her mind? Like, what service does that as a real story? Because, okay, in real life, you know what? Women have violence perpetrated against them all the time. And what, like, sure, so maybe it's a little far-fetched. That's what horror is all
But do you
about.
think that- do you
It's
think
about
that
hyperbolically getting to experience our own, like, we have so much anger, and we need these movies. We need good R&R to actually, like, fulfill our fantasies. Like, what Jen does in this movie, ooh, that really upsets me.
But
that
what-
he said
now,
it's all in her
you're
head and it's
probably
a dream
going-
sequence.
You're probably saying to yourself, like, but how is this really a comeback movie? And if you
but
know,
she comes back from
she comes
the
back
brink
from
of
the
death.
dead, practically. But any good revenge-o-matic is all about the revenge itself. It's all about getting each character or multiple characters and giving them their just desserts.
Oh, she kills them. She kills them good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Dimitri
So angry.
meets a watery fate with a bunch of stabbings of the eye. Stan, the actor who played him, Vincent Colombe, the one who actually enacted the bad R.
I bet he wishes he could take his comeback.
Wow, that was
bad. Bad joke.
No, actually, that was a good one. That's the one where I went, hey, A+.
Maybe don't R people, men. Maybe just don't. I never understood why. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So easy to just not.
But when you have cathartic movies like this, or like Miss 45,
Yeah.
or Thriller, They Call Her One Eye, or Kill Bill.
I'm a big fan of R&R movies.
Oh, I am too.
Huge fan.
But
I don't
this
think there's
is-
a woman in existence who hasn't had some kind of abuse in her life. Like, that is just the sad fact, whether it's a straight up like R experience or just a form of a sexual abuse on some level at some point in her life. I don't think there's a woman alive who hasn't. So these movies are so incredibly important, and they are comeback movies, 'cause especially since I went on this whole monologue about what a comeback movie represents and why they're important, why they strike such a chord with us. And I think it is the idea that we're not defeated by what life throws at us. We are the masters of our own fates. Like, no matter because it's so horrible what they do to her. And it really, I'm like really upset by that reviewer who said it was all in her own mind, because it's so important to watch a woman say, no, like, I am not going to let this be how this movie ends. I am getting off this tree, and I am going to
dish out a big fat vat of vengeance.
And revenge.
Now it's not going to be a comeback.
Yeah.
It's comeuppance.
You think you're in your movies, men? No, you're in my movie, motherfuckers.
And that's the beauty of the subversiveness that Coralie instills into this movie, because, like we mentioned before, there's a bunch of other like revenge movies. You know, Last House on the Left, Lipstick.
R&R.
I'll beep it. I Spit on Your Grave, most done by men. So it's refreshing that a female director can come along and take all of the like sexual objectification tools that we were used to in our language in selling bikinis and lipstick and, you know, and food or whatever, and sexy cars, and turn it on its head. Again, I don't mean to like single out a female filmmaker, but the last time
there aren't that many of them. Let's single her out. She is incredible.
The last time that I think we've had a female filmmaker that took all of that language and applied it in a way that felt fresh, but also a bit of a comment on it, is Catherine Bigelow.
I disagree entirely, but okay.
Why?
Just there's a lot of female directors between Bigelow and Fulgia who did interesting things.
I'm just saying one, you know.
Oh, I thought you said you hadn't seen anyone since Bigelow.
No.
And I was like, there's Marina Devan.
Of course.
Catherine Breillat.
Look at what Bigelow did with Near Dark, and especially Point Break.
Yeah, I agree.
remember when that movie came out, people were like, a woman directed this? And you go, who gives a shit? You know, it's like, but it was just because she applied a very muscular aesthetic.
It's almost like masculine and feminine are like binary constructs that aren't real.
Right?
Because we're nuanced individuals.
We're getting deep here, folks. That's where I think this movie excels, is that it takes a female gaze approach to a male gaze approach to this type of movie, and does it in such a wonderfully over-the-top entertaining way. If you're a fan of French extremism films like Martyrs and Inside, there's
or
so much
some of
blood.
the women ones. In My Skin is a great one. Baise-moi, or that was its title in English as well.
Man, the French really love to spill the red stuff.
Yes.
And the last
and
10
so do
minutes
women.
of this movie, considering that you guys bleed every month, like this
honestly,
like
whenever
this just
people
feels like they just went blah.
Well, considering that women's just biology is a horror movie in and of itself, it always frustrates me when people think women must be more squeamish than men, because it could not be further from the truth. But I loved watching Revenge again. Honestly, I found, even though these movies were in night and day almost, I felt so empowered by both. And I do think it all just comes back to, like, I think they're both excellent comeback theme films.
If a good comeback movie is one that elicits a response, The Natural is a yay. The Revenge is fuck yeah.
Well, it's exactly, and they both like, you know, what my thesis, I guess, is on a comeback movie is that you end up being empowered to make choices. Like, no matter what is thrown at you, you can always just get up the next day and try again. And that's what these movies are emblematic of, I think, at the end of the day. And they both have happy endings. For both of these characters are mythological in a way. They are both just these icons of self-possession and self-empowerment. I did actually kind of prefer Revenge at the end of the day. It just didn't occur to me to have R&R as like a comeback film, but it is like it's all about reclaiming agency, which is what comeback movies are all about. So yes.
So
that was our double feature.
So would you say great double feature?
I mean,
great order.
I would never, like, why I love this whole show that we do. The whole concept is so bizarre because we always end up with these movies that I would never in a million years say, oh yeah. But I mean, it's funny how like all of these odd combinations can sometimes end up working.
Yeah.
And
I think it worked incredibly well.
I don't know. I feel really good right now.
Yeah.
Like, I was really tired because I was on a panel earlier today at LA Comic-Con and a little burnt out. I didn't really want to come in here, but I was very excited to start the show again. And then we watched those movies. But I don't know. I just feel,
you had a great panel.
And I just feel very like, I don't know, like, come at me, life. Like, no matter what life throws at me, I will come right back at it.
I was gonna say, so this morning you were down on your luck.
I took an active agency in my life. I wasn't like, oh, I don't want to do the panel because I'm tired and I don't know, and I don't want to do the show because I don't know, I'm sleepy, I'm burnt out. Like, I was just like, nah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just suck it up and I'm gonna take on the day. I'm gonna grab the day by the ball and I'm gonna just show the baseball.
Oh. I was like, oh God, one nut. Tom Green, jeez.
So now I just feel very like I am the master of my own domain. I am taking active agency in my life and I am killing it. I don't have too much to drink. Yeah. But those movies made me feel really good about that as a theme of like just going out there and showing your mettle.
What's interesting really quick is that Revenge is one of the few really feel good R&R movies where sometimes the R&R movies can be really dour all the way to the end.
Yeah,
There's
dour.
Still the comeuppance.
It's still empowering to watch.
Yeah.
It's still, I think, one of the great. But yeah, I mean,
that's what I was worried about with the order. I was like, because obviously we came back here and we were all jazzed and ready to go. Sometimes some of those movies don't really do that, and where The Natural, like, I almost was like, do we want to jump into an R&R movie right now? Because I feel really good right now. But I think this combination was the perfect A and B. Like it hit all
peanut
the
butter
buttons.
and chocolate.
Which one's chocolate?
Oh, they both just tasted good.
Revenge would be dark chocolate.
Right.
Yes.
Well,
dark
that would taste
blood, red velvet.
I just meant two delicious things that reached new elevations of deliciousness together.
Fair. I like that. Well, there you go. We've done it. Comeback movies are back. We're back. A couple of old
We have
fashions
come
are back.
back.
We've come back. Let's just say that season 1 and season 2, I think we had our own little comeback, right? Like, it's 2025.
Well, let's
was a
see
little
how
rough
this
so
goes.
far,
but
we'll
yes,
see how
we
it
are.
goes.
No, we are.
Knock on wood.
Because it doesn't matter if we fail or succeed. What matters is that we're trying.
Yes. A couple things to discuss before we let you go. We are doing our first live show. We have to talk about it because in a couple weeks it's going to be happening. That's right, the Ramaskrik Film Festival, I'm probably saying that wrong, in lovely Norway from October 15th through the 19th. A couple of Old Fashions is going to be live. We're doing a live show with Tor, the program director. Should be interesting. We've done variations of the show before live. If you've ever been to Panic Fest with some of our double features there, it's kind of the similar thing.
Well, that's what inspired the
whole show. Yeah.
So that was more of a chicken and egg situation.
Yep.
This is the first time where someone watched the show and specifically asked us to come out in the show in that capacity.
Yep.
So it'll be really fun. I'm really excited.
Very excited to do it in front of an audience. That'll be on the 17th at 6:30 p.m. And then on the 18th, I don't know how this happened, but they're showing Wrong Turn 2 Dead End for the first time in years. I think the last time that we ever played live was at the Chattanooga Film Festival years ago. It's been a while since I've watched it. It's been a while since I've seen it with a crowd. I don't know how the hell they got people to
Our little mascot wants to come and say hi.
I don't know how they got someone to at Disney, because now Disney owns Wrong Turn 2, which is crazy. Oh, hello, here's my little mutant hillbilly. But yeah, so that's going to be happening. Also, if you didn't already see the cool commercial we made,
Smooth.
Boom! The Last Drive-In,
That is.
Blu-ray and DVD, right in front of Rocco. Boom! First time. They're doing a DVD and Blu-ray of The Last Drive-In, and they just so happen to be doing it with two of
my movies.
Dreams come true. Let's just say that. True comeback story right here. That comes out on October 14th. Buy it at your nearest reseller. Try to support physical media and also independent companies like Diabolic DVD. Get it over there. And also, like and subscribe. Yes. We're going to stay on YouTube, and this is going to be a work in progress. We're going to be changing things up. We're going to be evolving the show. There's going to probably be a Patreon at some point with some wonderful rewards and benefits and everything.
Yes, this is our garage band years.
Yes. So look at this.
Hopefully at some point we'll be doing the arena tour version of the show.
But for now,
yeah, this is grungy.
The best thing you can do is like and subscribe, tell your friends, watch it on YouTube,
Please.
Check it out on your local
thank
podcast.
you for listening.
And also one last thing, thank you to every single person who supported us in our pilot season phase for season 1. Now you can see season 1 on this very YouTube channel with such themes as One Night Only, Growing Pains, and all the others. Mob Mentality, Silent Scream, and Two for the Road. 5 episodes from last season that were only available on Patreon back in the day, back in March, but now we've made it available for everybody. And I want to definitely thank every single person who supported by buying an episode back in the day. You're all executive producers in our heart for this show. And thank you for your patronage and also for your wonderful notes when we did the questionnaire.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for everyone who completed the
Did we listen
Q&A.
to any of them? Probably not. But thank you. That really meant a lot. You picked this last week's theme, and I thought, since this also kind of started with our date night movie marathons, while we would always be programming a full night of movies with some libations.
Oh my God! Just say the theme.
But we also talk about what we watched the next day, the hangover day. So next week's theme is going to be hangover cures. Those movies that you watch maybe as comfort food, or maybe just put something on in the background, or
maybe I don't know. I might
Who knows?
interpret hangover cure in a completely different way.
Well, we're going to find out what that's going to be next week, right?
Yeah.
Right? All right. Time for the send-off.
Movies. They're the only marathon worth participating in, and they're what date nights are made for.
Not bad. A little rusty still.
A little rusty.
See you next week. Bye. Bye.
Ew.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.